a bubble finals.
Number 2. I thought it was great. It's number 2.
No, he's the greatest.
Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. One episode of In the Paint. I'm your host, Earnest Christian, alongside Zack Degenerate and Krizmanic. Fellas, it's been over a month.
Yeah, been a little busy, man.
Yeah, Mr. Honda Classic. Got a little tan there.
Yeah.
Son.
Dude, man, those last 2 weeks were like, I was putting in 100+ hours.
Yeah.
2 to 3 weeks in a row. It was crazy.
Yeah, we were talking offline and stuff, and and it's like, damn, you busy man.
Didn't you switch a vacation in there?
Yeah. As soon as the Honda was over, I was like, peace out.
How you been, brother?
Good.
All right, so we've actually there's been a lot going on in the last show we did was I think it was like 6 weeks ago. It's a lot's happened in 6 weeks. At the time we were speculating about Ben Simmons. I think the Harden stuff hadn't come out yet about him demanding a trade, but there's some at the time it was like some rumblings about it, and now we're now way past that. Now James Harden trade to the Sixers for Ben Simmons and all that. Now it's hard to assess how good the trade is because obviously it's only been a few weeks. We haven't seen Ben Simmons on the court as yet. We see Harden and Philly so far. I guess we can touch on the Harden part right now for the time being. Where do you guys stand on the Harden end of the things right now that you've seen in the last 3 weeks? Zack?
Oh, one, I think it was an absolute home run trade for the 76ers. I mean, you pull in a top 10 guy still. He might be borderline top 10, but you got top 10 for Seth Curry and a rebounder, essentially. You can't even talk about Ben Simmons for the fact he's an empty chair for the 76ers. So you got rid of a shooter, a rebounder, and an empty chair for a top 10 guy.
Do you think they gave up too much for Harden, though?
No, not at all.
More so the pieces. Like, I mean, obviously Simmons is
It'll look bad if he leaves in free agency this summer. But the way they're clicking and his relationship with the GM, Daryl Morey, will make you think that he will stay. Now, whether or not he destroys their fucking cap is a different story. But for the time being, even if it's just a sellout for this year, if they can make a deep run, it's worth it.
Yeah. I mean, if they make it to the finals and say they win, you're talking about what? Not since 1983 that they've won a championship?
Correct.
And been to what? One since?
Yeah, correct.
How did it feel when the Heat went to their first? Kris, how did it feel for the Bengals this year for you?
I mean,
that's what it is. They won't care what they gave up. They won't even care if he leaves in the offseason. If all it takes is to get him and for 1 year you win a championship, Daryl Morey, you deserve a raise.
Even use the most recent example. You think Toronto cares about Kawhi leaving? He got
the ring in Toronto.
That matters.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. And I think also you look at it more so with the Joel Embiid thing. He's right on this prime of his career. He's arguably the best player in basketball. I'm not saying is, but it's arguable.
He's top 5.
He's definitely top 5. I mean, there's no question.
Number 5.
But problem is he's in the conversation. So you're working around his, time frame. Basically, because we don't know. I mean, look, the knock coming into him was that coming into his NBA was that he can stay healthy. He's a glass. He's done well. He's done pretty well the last couple of years in maintaining his body. But how long can that be? So we're working on that time frame. So we're looking at really honestly for Philly is this. Listen, this is a 2, maybe 3 year window right now to make this happen. And we know Ben Simmons doesn't want to be here. We know this. So let's move forward. So I agree. Obviously, I'm glad this trade happened. I'm happy for Harden, obviously. I mean, the one piece I thought maybe that was the Seth Curry piece is a little bit.
It was a little, but sometimes to get a championship, you got to give up.
You got to
round picks,
right?
Stuff like that. So you're giving up a shooter who there's a lot of shooters for the Nets,
right?
Even Andre Drummond was a key piece for them this year. He filled in when Embiid was out, and he was playing monstrous, even just to give him a break. You know, he was a key piece. So those two guys were key pieces plus the plethora of first-round picks. But
I just think also too with Harden also like.
Well, can we touch on this one thing real quick as we talk about the first-round picks? We know the 76ers are going to make the playoffs. So there's no pick in the top 20 that they're going to get. So how great do you think you're going to find a guy?
Jimmy Butler was picked 30.
Yeah, but
Jokic
that's a miracle, right? Those things don't happen that often. Finding an undrafted or a late rounder, those things, if you don't find a guy in the top 10, usually it's pretty hard.
Right.
So it's okay to give up first rounders when you're in the playoffs.
And let's be real, NBA draft picks, honestly, fuck them picks. Fuck them picks. Seriously, I don't give a fuck. All they are to me are empty numbers. Seriously, you have a look. Say what you want about James Harden. We obviously know the narrative about James Harden, but in his playoff failures and all that. But he's still a proven commodity. And the difference between Harden now and Houston is that he ain't the guy this time. He's number 2. Embiid's the So maybe that dynamic changes things for him a little bit. We'll see. On the Brooklyn side, though, really, I mean, it's hard to tell.
Well, the report just came out that it looks like Ben Simmons might not come back this year. His back flared up to the point where it might not be ready for the season, even if they make it to the playoffs.
That's called minutes, because I heard earlier this afternoon that they were saying he may be a week away. So
I heard yesterday they were talking about the same thing, the back issue, and I was like, I hadn't even heard about a back issue for him until yesterday.
Yeah,
I figured it was all a cover for the mental health thing.
So if we run off that report that it is to be true, Philly not only won this trade, they won this going away.
That's just for this season, though.
Yeah, but Kyrie's not under contract after this season. So
I don't know.
And that's the other great thing about getting rid of Ben Simmons. Even if Harden leaves, you still have a massive amount of cash you can spend on free agents.
Right.
So,
well,
I think it was a home run for the Sixers.
Well, that's actually a good segue, because we're going to go to the Nets now, because the Nets, KD's back, he's been playing great. Kyrie's back sometimes on the road.
He demolished the Magic in just one half tonight.
He destroyed the Magic tonight. I mean, when Kyrie, look, Kyrie is a nutcase, but that dude is talented as fuck. We all agree with that. And I know where you guys stand on this. I think the New York City fucking vaccine mandate is stupid as hell. It's dumb. Just lift the damn thing and let's go.
Oh yeah. Once you allowed players from out of town to come, once you showed you had that hole in your vaccine mandate policy, it was a laughing stock.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the thing now. So Kyrie's back sometimes. We don't know where the mandate will go. It'll be lifted by the time the playoffs start. KD's back, obviously. All the Nets. Let's assume that they lifted the mandate in time for the playoffs. Can we say, because right now the Nets are the 8th seed right now in the East. They are likely going to be in the play-in because the 6th seed is Cleveland. They're 4.5 games up. There's like 12 games to go. I don't see Cleveland cratering enough for Brooklyn to make some ground. So, can we still consider the Nets a title contender if KD can play every game going forward?
Can I take this first?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
They might not even make the fucking playoffs.
Oh.
Whoa. Listen here. It's so funny because when you read about like the East seeding, they're like, oh, nobody wants the 2 seed because you don't want to play Brooklyn the first round. Brooklyn has to go to Toronto. Oh, the only road game that Kyrie can't play in. And then they will host the second play-in game against, probably the Eastern Conference Finals Atlanta Hawks, which Kyrie cannot play in again. So you're telling me that they're definitely going to be either Toronto without Kyrie or Atlanta without Kyrie.
Yes.
And stay in the playoffs.
Yes. Because you know who they have? KD.
There's enough guys in the league to take care of KD for one game.
And that's a good point, though. But this is also, I mean, that's actually a great point, because I was using the term of the Brooklyn games being able to be done, but I didn't consider the Toronto or Atlanta. That's actually a great point, Kris.
Yeah, but where do they stand? If they're a 6 seed or better, they don't even have to worry about a play.
They're not getting a 6 seed. Right now they're 4.5 behind Cleveland for the 6 seed. Cleveland ain't cratering between now and April.
Doesn't matter if they get 7. They host the game against Toronto. He can't play in the first playing game. Period. Whether they host it or they go to Toronto, he can't play in it.
Great point.
If they're the 8th seed, they're gonna host a second. If they don't win, they will host a second playing game, right, which Kyrie can't play in it again. And if you're playing against Atlanta, you're talking about a team that's finally kind of putting it together, and they have a bunch of athletic wing guys to throw at KD for the whole game. DeAndre Hunter, John Collins. They just keep throwing these guys at him all game. That's enough to disrupt them. With Trey tearing it up right now, like, you're going to see that they might not make the playoffs. You'd be shocked, but
I didn't consider that, man. I actually didn't consider the Atlanta part, the Toronto part, and now, that's actually a great point.
Like, one of their best options would be to drop to 9 or 10. Like, then you're just playing on the road, and then chances are you're going to have Kyrie for all those games instead of hosting and going to Toronto. But
and that's where the Simmons thing comes into effect now, because Simmons can get, let's say Simmons was, well, now, if the report's true, then obviously it doesn't matter at this point, but let's say Simmons was able to play in a week. Is it enough time for him to get coached up in time for the playoffs and play in? I mean, yeah, great point.
I'll take them to win the 6 seed. I will take whatever it takes. They're gonna get the 6 seed.
So but what you're saying is that you're assuming Cleveland's is gonna crater between now and April, because that's what it takes. It's gonna take that.
Well, I mean, Evan Mobley has disappeared for the last 20, 30 games of this season. All right, they are constantly losing guy after guy.
Evan Mobley has had to play the 5 position, which he's a little undersized.
He is a 5. He's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, but he's been playing.
He's 7 foot tall, weighs 275 pounds.
He's not too. So he's like 210. He's tiny.
210.
Abused. Jared Allen's been the starting 5 all year and just broke his finger. So yes, he's been adjusting to a new position. We just scored 30 points like 2 games ago.
He's Embiid, I guess what we're saying. He's like Joel Embiid, but more perimeter based.
He's just there. Cleveland's
nowhere near the level of Joel.
No. I'm saying the way he plays. I'm saying not so much how good.
Yeah.
Right. Oh no. That Kris made a great point there. I mean, that is definitely. I don't think they'll catch Cleveland. Cleveland slipped a little bit the last couple of weeks, but you would need a swing of 5 or 6 games in the next 2-3 weeks to have to make that happen. And I don't see that happening, honestly. I just don't see it. Especially when you have the amount of games that he's going to. Kyrie's only able to put more games. 3 more games now after tonight.
Yeah, and you still have to leapfrog Toronto on top of that, who's still ahead of him.
Right. That's a great point. Let's talk about the Lakers.
There is the team that is not making the playoffs.
Well,
or the play-in.
Well, the schedule definitely is a conversation that may not happen. Right now, LA is a 9 seed. Okay, they are definitely going. They're definitely not getting a 6 seed. They're out of it. They're what? 11 games behind Denver for the 6 seed.
You look at their schedule, and then you look at the 8 seed, the 9 seed, and the 10 seed. They're not going to make it.
So right now,
even Portland and the Spurs behind them have an easier schedule.
That is true. Now Here's the thing. So the Lakers are 9 seed right now currently. Okay, they're not going to get an 8 probably either because the Clippers are like 5 games ahead of them. The Pelicans are right now a game and a half behind. Okay, them for the 9 seed. Portland is
2 head-to-head against the Pelicans, so that's huge.
They do have a 3.5 game lead over Portland. So I would agree with Zack on this one if I knew Lillard was coming back to end the year.
He's not.
He's not.
I don't care if he isn't coming back. That schedule is so easy for Portland. So easy. And then you look at the Lakers schedule. They've got maybe 3 games right now going forward till the end of the season. You can check off and say, yep, that one they should win. That's it. They've got 3 games.
I'm trying to find a schedule right now. I mean, is it worth breaking down the schedule at this point now or no?
I would, but I'd have to use my phone real quick.
No, I'm getting it right now. Hold on. Give me a second. I'll get it right now. So right now, they play the Timberwolves tomorrow on the road. That's a loss, right?
I'm expecting the Timberwolves to win.
So they got the Timberwolves tomorrow. That's probably gonna be a loss based on the way they're playing. In Toronto on Friday. Toronto's playing good basketball now. That could be a loss. The Wizards
Toronto just smoked them too.
Dude, and on the road too. They got the Wizards.
They're gonna beat the Wizards. Come on.
That's one of the wins.
Okay. At Cleveland.
You would assume LeBron go back home and tear them up.
Yeah, I mean, at Cleveland, LeBron have a throwback.
You're counting everything on LeBron, but we can't count everything on KD to get him to a 6 seed.
Hasn't worked for LeBron this year, so and LeBron has been playing great for the record.
That they're trying to overcome here.
And for the record, LeBron has had MVP type season.
No, he hasn't. He has played garbage time. Garbage time. You look at his last 10 games that they've played, they've been blown out 4.
No. We know the team stinks. We're just saying that LeBron individually is playing great.
No, he's not. You would not be playing great if your team is getting blown out.
Like a half point behind Embiid for the scoring title right now, and he's not playing great? Are we kidding me now?
Ernest, when's he getting his points? He got like 16 last night in the fourth quarter when they're down by 30. I mean, when you score does matter.
Yeah, this schedule's unforgiving. Then they got to play Philadelphia at home.
That's a loss.
Yeah, but it is like the end of the year against the Suns. The Suns will. Granted, Devin Booker's pissed off at AD for making that comment about.
Well, Chris Paul might be coming back by then, so you got to integrate.
They've actually locked up the 1 seed, so you got
the Mavericks, the Jazz, the Pelicans, the Nuggets, the Warriors, the Suns, OKC, and the Nuggets again.
Yeah, it's OKC, the Wizards, and hey, I'll let you have your Cleveland come home.
Now, here's the big tweener here is that AD should be back at some point next week. I'm hearing the next week or so.
Okay, so he comes back for 2 games and then he's out.
I mean, that could happen, obviously. I mean,
isn't that how it works?
Let me ask you this: AD, how do you approach next year? I mean, we know Russ won't be back next year. They're gonna trade Russ out of there because he's.
They ain't trading Russ. Who's taking Russ?
Expiring contract. That's the reason why he's be gone. Expiring contract.
No. Not going to happen. No team is taking $50 million expiring contract.
We'll see. But
they're going to trade AD, and you know what they might think about doing? And they really should? See if there's any dumb team out there willing to take LeBron.
LeBron ain't going nowhere. Here's a question. AD, do you trade him?
Absolutely.
Kris?
Who are you going to get back in return to make it worth it?
All right, Kris, here's a better question. Do you see AD carrying the Lakers after LeBron's gone? As injury prone as he is, and the inability to carry a team any other time in his career.
Oh, stop. He took the Pelicans to the playoffs.
How many times? And how far did he get?
Twice, that's it. Second round?
Okay.
That's it. Now, I'm with Zack on this one. I gotta be honest with
you. You have to trade AD.
So who are you gonna get back?
You could probably get Dame.
Probably get a few draft picks too in the process. Cause I mean,
oh yeah,
they hoard up a lot of picks as is anyway.
Yeah, because of Dame's age, you could easily swap him in Portland.
Hey. Kris is like,
only guy. That's like the only guy I can really think of. That's
that's if I'm trying to go star for star.
That's
what if you get 2 or 3 up and coming players? Like, hey, maybe ship, I don't know, him to Toronto and get Scotty Barnes and 2 future first round picks, and maybe one of their forwards. That would, right? Wouldn't that work?
Stop.
What, you wouldn't take? I got probably the rookie of the year.
Cade's
gonna win that no matter what.
I think the Lakers need to consider up because this unit together, you can't patch up. AD is who he is now. AD is what, 10 years in the league now, 11 years in the league. This is who he is,
and it's only gonna get worse as the age.
Absolutely. LeBron is 37 years old. Russ obviously has hit a big ass ball. It's over for the Lakers. There's nothing they can do to fix this.
You're better off trying to find that $47 million expiring deal somewhere for Russell, where there's going to be a team that's just completely out of it that wants to take a flyer on him. Like,
what, you think Washington's going to take them back?
Washington actually has pieces that they can use.
Orlando's not going to take them.
Russell,
I mean, when you're looking at teams in the league out there aren't many teams that need an attraction because those teams are working with young players.
Good point. That's a great point. I think Russ will be on somewhere like Sacramento or one of those bad teams just because of the expiring contract. That is it.
I mean, maybe Indiana taking a flyer on him.
Maybe.
And what would Indiana give up?
You don't have to give up anything. You're just taking the fucking. You're just taking that.
Well, you got to match the money. You have to match the money.
Yeah,
in the NBA.
everyone has.
I'm sure they can find a way to match $47 million.
Yeah,
you can give up
your entire bench,
something like that.
Hey,
your entire bench, and probably all but 3 of your starters. Not name your 2 stars.
I mean, LA. Okay. I mean, look, LA. Zach's point may play out true. LA might be stuck.
And why does a team want to help the Lakers and LeBron? Why would a team want to go out of their way to help the Lakers?
That's a good point too. That's a great point, actually. We shall see. All right, MVP race. We're on Texas morning, all us three discussing this.
You're not allowed to talk, Ernest.
Okay, so we're gonna rank our top 5 MVP right now, as we stand right here on March 15, 2022. Our top 5 guys for MVP right now. I think I think us three agree on the top 2, mostly. Maybe 2. I got 1 Jokic.
I got Jokic and Embiid.
But it's a game of inches at this point with those 2 guys. Kris, where are you at on the top 2?
I mean, I got Jokic, and then Embiid, and then Giannis the sleeper. If Giannis can get Milwaukee to the 1 seed, which they're only 2 games back, and snip Embiid for the scoring title, which he's only 0.2 points behind, those little things, could
that
get
moves him to like 3.
No, he is 3. I would say like those little things might be able to sway guys just because his analytical stuff. He's the mix of like star plus division, like number 1 seed plus scoring. He would be the perfect mix of all the stats. But obviously, like Jokic is by far like deserving of it. He's number 1 in plus minus. He's number 1 in everything.
So run on your top 5, Kris. So you have Jokic, Embiid, Giannis.
There's no one else. There's no point even going any higher. Just everyone else is just out of it.
No DeRozan, no Curry, no Ja, no.
Curry's underrated because he's actually number 2 in real plus minus at plus 15 when he's on the court. So I mean, you throw him in the mix, and then between Ja, DeRozan, Karl Anthony Towns putting together a nice resume right now, but he plays no fucking defense. So Luka's getting up there, but he don't play no fucking defense either. So it's like there ain't many guys up there. Like you got those top 2 guys with Giannis as like the dark horse that could sneak in right at the end, but that's about it.
Kris, Zach, what was yours? Top 5 in order?
So it's Jokic, Embiid. I put Curry 3, and then I'd put Giannis 4.
Who's 5?
And 5 is probably DeRozan. Because we saw what the Bulls were last year after their trades. And essentially the only major difference now from the end of last season and this season is DeRozan.
Well, Vucevic just got there at the end of the year, so he wasn't fully gelled in either.
No, but I think you see more of how that team works now. And he's an MVP candidate because of what he does for that team.
I don't know. All the free agents really made up. Alex Caruso's been huge. Lonzo's been huge. It's tough to put DeRozan there, but it's nice to finally see a fit perfect for him because between Toronto and Toronto, I mean, he was finding himself. San Antonio was a weird fit. So, like, him finally finding a place where they're all having fun and it's a perfect fit for him because now he's a veteran leader of a bunch of young studs. Like, it's a great fit.
Well, one thing we all agree on is that right now the MVP race is a dead heat. It's definitely a dead heat at the top. Like I also have Jokic and Embiid in 1 and 2, and that's pretty much a 4th and inches situation right now.
So who's your 3, 4, 5?
At 3, 4, 5. At 3, I had Ja. 4, I had what had 4 before? Did I have DeRozan 4?
Yeah.
And I had 5. I think I had Giannis. Curry has slipped with each passing month.
Yeah, and I'd like to go over this with you.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Again, you have Ja at number 3. What was their record without him?
11-1. Right? Is that what he told me? 11-1.
Yes.
Who did they play?
They won 10 straight without him. Went 11-1.
But it's clear.
What does MVP stand for?
They had a really weak schedule
No,
that time.
So do the Lakers, and they're getting blown out by garbage teams.
Grizz fan here.
And you got a guy talking about LeBron is still an MVP candidate.
Steph Curry's numbers have kind of cratered the last 2 months. So last 50 games, he's shooting 42% from the field, 35% from 3.
And who was playing alongside him those last 50 games for the most part?
No, they got a chunk of clay, not a lot of clay, but a chunk of clay.
A chunk, like a 10-game sample,
20.
maybe 10 games of Draymond. You're looking at 50 games. You're saying 50, and he's missed his team other than Jordan Poole.
When we did this
and Andrew Wiggins,
literally had Curry as the MVP. I think I have Curry number 2, maybe.
Yeah, you don't like short little guys who can shoot.
That's not accurate.
All right, who's the MVP of the Heat?
Honest, I'll be honest with you, I think it's Tyler Hero.
Okay, because I said that and I didn't get a single response to you.
I thought it was a joke.
No, I'm serious. He's a top 10 MVP candidate this year.
He's definitely 6 man of the year. Let's be clear with that.
Who's the number 1 seed in the East? I forget.
Oh, I mean, you're Miami Heat.
Yeah, and Butler's been missing a few games, right?
Yeah, Butler and Bam both.
Bam too. What about that guy they signed in free agency?
PJ Tucker?
Or Kyle Lowry.
He's missed a lot of games too.
Exactly. Tyler Hero has been your guy this season.
No, I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong.
He's an MVP candidate.
He's definitely 6 man of the year. He's definitely 6 man of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Without question. That race is wrapped up already. And Kris, you make that face all you want, but you know it's true. But no.
Chris's team's gonna have the most improved player with Jaren Jackson.
No.
What I will say though, one thing I will say is this: is that we should appreciate the fact that we can go probably 7, 8 deep of guys that should at least be in the conversation.
Kris, what did you say earlier? Top 3? There's only 3.
Yeah, it's more. I mean,
well,
yeah. You think there's only 3, right?
Only 3 realistic guys.
They're going to win.
3 realistic guys left.
The rest are just giving respect. And for me, I think Tyler Hero deserves respect in getting a top 10 vote.
Towns, at least you get some looks. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to win it or in the conversation. He's definitely someone that you should look at. Hey, that's great turnaround this year. So I don't know. It's a fascinating year, fascinating race. Good to see some new fresh blood in there too. No KDs and no LeBrons for once, So, all right, last thing before you go. Last thing, and this is what we missed. We were planning on doing this weeks ago when they revealed this list back in February. Top 15 all-time list for coaches revealed. I'm gonna run down these lists of 15 guys, and then it's not in order. It's just alphabetical order. That's it. And then you guys tell me where you see the issue, who's missing, who should be out of this thing. All right, so you got Red Auerbach, Larry Brown, Chuck Daly, Red Holtzman, Phil Jackson, Casey Jones, Steve Kerr, Don Nelson, Greg Popovich, Jack Ramsey, Pat Riley, Doc Rivers, Jerry Sloan, Eric Spoelstra, and Lenny Wilkins. Have at it. Because I remember we were discussing this about 5 weeks ago, and you guys had issues with the list. Some guys are missing. Some guys shouldn't be there. So
I just think the list is too big. I don't think there's 15 great. I don't think there's a 15 all-time great coaches.
So if you shorten this list right now, take out 5 guys now, then Zach. Who should be on this list now? 5 guys.
Ooh. Lenny Wilkins for one.
Ooh, that's tough.
At the time when he retired, the all-time NBA
That's tough.
leader.
Okay.
I know, but I
what was his playoff record? How many rings? How many teams did he coach?
He still has a ring.
think he has 1 ring.
All-time wins means is you've been there longer than everybody else. That's all that means.
He's not like a 500 coach. Like,
let's do that. Take out 5 guys out there. That's the best way to do this.
Johnny Nelson.
I agree with that one.
You're gone.
Spo, for sure, 100%.
Who?
Spo has to go.
That's a spot now, but he's also
Spo is top 10 all time.
He's getting there. He's getting there. So I would take out personally. I would take out. Shit, Lenny Wilkins. Nah, I don't know. Take that out. Hold on. I will take out Jerry Sloan, as great as he was. 0 rings. 0 rings. See, this is a sport where it actually matters. You know what I'm saying? Rings actually matter in this sport.
Yes, because it's only 5 starters on the court. So when you have 2 dominant guys like he had,
I'm taking out Doc.
Yeah,
sure. He's number 15.
Jerry Sloan, number 1. Jerry Sloan is a better coach than Doc Rivers.
Yes. He's also a better coach than Lenny Wilkins, better coach than Donnie Nelson. He might be better than Chuck Daly.
No, Chuck Daly's out of state.
I know that hurts you, but remember when Chuck Daly was coaching? There was only really one other dominant team.
No. There was 2 other dominant teams and 1 team on the up and up.
Yeah.
Lakers and Celtics, both, and they had the Bulls on the way up.
But you have to look at that conference to get to the final, right? It's who you're competing against just to get to the final.
Well, okay, so Chuck Daly took over in 82, 83. So
so he had to beat out Casey Jones.
Philly was still really good at the time. You still had Dr. J, you still had Barkley got drafted in 84. You still have Boston to contend with. Who else in the East you had back then that was good? Milwaukee was pretty decent back then.
Off and on, Cleveland had one good year. You know,
even Atlanta with Dominique Wilkins.
I mean,
second round by Lenny Wilkins.
So my 10 guys I'll keep on the list. I mean, I would take out Jerry Sloan. I would take out Doc Rivers. I love Jack Ramsey. I love him. I met him as a kid.
Take him out.
I met him as a kid.
Jack Ramsey's out.
I remember I met him in 94. One of the nicest guys I ever met. He was a Heat broadcaster back in 94 with Eric Reed. He goes out for now.
He was the voice of the Heat in our childhood, Ernest.
Sorry.
Kris, say that again. Voice, not coach. Voice.
Does Steve Kerr deserve to be there still?
Hell yes. What? How far did Mark Jackson get with the same group?
It's tough, man.
The only pushback on Kerr I'll give you is the sample's a little small.
It's small.
It's dominating. It's a dominating sample size.
I agree with you, Zach. 3 rings help. The sample's small though.
Wins 2 without Durant, I give it to him.
Why? We're keeping Phil Jackson, and he had Michael, Shaq, Kobe.
Well, he did it twice though. Once you start doing it twice, and you max out twice, for that.
You can't knock one guy for having a star, and another guy gets the prop for it.
You can argue Phil. I'm not the biggest Phil fan on the planet, but he did it in 4 phases. First 3, next 3 in Chicago. Then there's a 3 with Shaq and Kobe. Then 2 with Kobe in the pieces. Yeah.
Look, Phil's the greatest coach of all time in the NBA.
I think that's Pop.
No, it goes Phil, maybe Pop 2. 3 is Red. I know it was a different era, not a lot, but every team could be stacked because you could only take the best players.
Well, Kevin Lockery.
Huh?
Well, Kevin Lockery. Joking, of course. No.
But I'd put Casey Jones in probably top 7 or 8 just because of the competition of going up against Pat Riley and the Lakers all those years.
Yeah, Casey's underrated, actually.
Yes. And he had 1 bad season, and they're like, yeah, you got to go.
So I'm taking out Jerry Sloan. I'm taking out Doc Rivers. I'm taking out Don Nelson.
Take out Lenny Wilkins. You know he doesn't belong.
I'll take out Lenny just because it's getting tough, and I'll take out Spoelstra for now.
You're gonna take Red Holzman?
Like, come on.
He's overrated because he got 2 championships with the Knicks.
Kerr. Which one do I take out?
It's Ramsey, Nelson, Wilkins, Sloan, and then the 5th is tough. And that's only because I don't have the list in front of me.
I cannot take out Chuck Daly. That's not going to happen. I'll consider Larry Brown. I would consider
Larry Brown.
I would consider Larry Brown too.
Larry Brown's out. So Larry Brown's out. Larry Brown's out. Don Nelton's out. Doc Rivers is definitely out. Jerry Sloan is out, and I'll take out Lenny Wilkins.
There you go.
Lenny gets out because of the fact that the list grew the last 2 decades.
Yes, and again, you're not one of the greatest coaches just for winning games, because that means you just were in the league longer.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't have a coaching job if you suck at coaching.
No, but you know who keeps getting a job? Those that win. And so go with the winners first, and then take out the others.
So many guys with super short. I mean, Chuck Daly. Granted, what he did in Detroit was unbelievable because
damn right he is.
Detroit had had back-to-back winning seasons before him, and he was there for 9 years and made the playoffs all 9 years he was there.
Argument that Chuck Daly is top 5 all time. I can make an argument and sell it.
No, you couldn't.
Because he
couldn't even come close to selling him as a top 5.
He's fringe top 10. Fringe.
Who, Chuck Daly?
Yes.
Yes. He's 8, 9, or 10 at best.
Chuck Daly is so underrated, though. He really is.
Get it done.
Right, who after we've eliminated our 5? Who's your top 5?
Top 5? Okay. 1 is Popovich. I've been saying this for the last 6-7 years now, so I'm not going to change now.
I disagree, Phil.
I think he's locked 2. I think Pop is locked 2, but you have to give Phil number 1. Dude, 10 rings? Come on.
My one contention with
rings?
My one issue with Phil is this: he never rebuilt teams. He took over teams that were on the cusp. And
you have his resume of the Bulls resume. You don't need to rebuild teams anymore.
Saying that Phil never took a team from scratch and rebuilt from the bottom up. Pop did. Pop
also got top 5 to 6 top center all time when centers mattered. And the greatest power forward of all time. And one of the most underrated point guards of all time. One of the best international players of all time. Oh, and in the last 20 years, another top 5 all-time player in Kawhi.
To be able to sustain what he did for 20-something years is incredible.
Yeah, he's the best GM.
Phil Jackson had the greatest player to ever play the sport on his team. Okay, number 1. Let's start there. Guy that should have been the greatest player of all time for a good portion, which is Shaq. Okay, I haven't gotten to Kobe yet. You haven't gotten to Kobe yet. Kobe is top 8, 10 player of all time. In my opinion.
Del Harris had Shaq and Kobe for 2 years, couldn't get it done.
They were in the conference finals the year before he got fired.
You're being disrespectful to Kobe at 8. All right.
Well, that's my list. I mean.
I know, and I'm just trying to help you out, buddy.
Maybe it's 7 now. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Once you realize what he did, and then what LeBron's had the ability, you realize how great Kobe was.
Number 2. So we know how it is. That's locks on barrel too. I get it. You hate LeBron. I get it.
I don't hate LeBron.
I feel like you're hating LeBron.
I used to argue that he was greater than Kobe, but here was the thing: Kobe won. LeBron just went to more finals. He didn't win more. He went to more when he had more stacked teams.
LeBron has won less finals than Kobe. So when you add that plus the fact that look, Magic Johnson went to 9 finals in 12 years.
Yeah.
He has 1 less than Jordan.
And that's why I put Magic ahead of LeBron.
Oh shit.
Oh, stop.
Look, you guys love LeBron.
I mean, you know I love Magic, so I'm not going to worry about that. But
don't play no fucking defense. We went over this. 0 defense.
Magic played 0 defense.
zero defense.
Bullshit.
He was a great defender, though. I'll give him that. But that didn't matter. In that era, it didn't matter really as much.
He literally had guys, first off, he wasn't supposed to play defense because you had players actually on the court as starters who were nothing but defenders in his time.
Yeah, like Michael Cooper.
Yes, exactly. That was the whole purpose.
Doesn't matter.
Robert Parrish,
around.
when he was with the Celtics, was there for defense. He wasn't there for anything else.
On tap-ins. All right, so real quick, my top 5. Here we go. Pop 1, Phil 2, Pat Riley 3. Let's see here. Pat Riley 3. Fuck you. I'm putting Chuck Daly in 4. Red 4. Red Auerbach 4.
I was gonna say you love disrespecting history before you were born.
I know. Chuck, Red Auerbach 4. Fuck him. I'm putting Chuck Daly 5. I don't give a fuck. My list. Deal with it. Give me your list. Top 5, Kris.
Alrighty. Phil 1. Pop 2. It gets real thin after that, man. It does not. You got to give it to Red Auerbach just for sheer numbers.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I give Red Auerbach more credit for is the fact that he named Bill Russell his predecessor.
He also, for the same reason you love Pop, he did the same thing. He was the GM also.
Yeah.
He built those teams.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, he was smart enough to know you need to get Larry Bird even before he came out of the draft, right? He's the reason why they got Larry Bird's draft rights before he ever left college.
I mean, technically, I guess you have to give Pat Riley 4 because he was the head coach of all those Ron James big. Well, even though Spo was technically
No, don't pull that bullshit. No. First off, Riley gets that high number 1, not because of LA also. Made the Knicks relevant for fucking good 6 years. A couple of years. Not 6 years, but 5 years. He was there 5 years.
Look, if you can get a New York team to the playoffs, you're a pretty good coach.
I'm saying Knicks have done shit since he's been gone.
Exactly.
Yeah, 2 years of Wayne Gundy, and they've been shit ever since. So.
And who's 5?
Who's 5 for you, Kris?
You want to say it? Say it, Kerr.
It's fucking Kerr.
No, it's not Steve Kerr. His sample size is too small.
If he was it this year, I put Kerr in the top 10 and probably top 5.
I know you're gonna slander me for it, but I'm gonna put Jerry Sloan 5.
Okay, I respect it. I mean, you're wrong, but I I get it. Oh Jesus! Okay, Zach, what's your top 5 before we get going?
All right. So 1 is Phil.
Okay.
2A, 2B. Pop and Red. I can't break them up.
Okay.
All right.
I respect it.
Just can't do it. 4.
Riley.
Yeah, it's got to be Riley.
5 is a question.
5 is. Because it is sample size. And I'm a guy who wants to go Kerr. Okay. But this is going to blow your mind. Chuck Daly really does deserve consideration for top 5.
I got to put him there?
No, I'm going to put Kerr there.
Okay. The fact you said Daly should be in the conversation.
Look, he should. Since I'm putting Kerr 5, Daly is 6.
Okay. How the fuck you put Jerry Sloan ahead Chuck Daly?
Bro, it's not that.
Chuck Daly beat
longevity. Kris loves longevity.
That's fine.
It's the reason he loves LeBron.
Chuck Daly beat fucking Magic, Bird, and Jordan to win titles. What are we doing here?
He had a great.
You know what? That argument just sold me. He's 5.
That good. I think you guys underrate how good the talent he had. And then he went to New Jersey and did Dick.
Wait.
Whoa, no. They were decent in New Jersey for a couple of years, for 2 years. They were deep.
How much talent did they have in Detroit? I mean,
even
Rodman wasn't the star rebounder he was then. He was counted on for defense, but he wasn't the star rebounder.
Bars and a bunch of goons. They had there. Dennis Johnson. They had tons of talent there.
Well, we'll leave it there. That's a good argument. I like the fact I agree they should have shortened the list. That I agree with. That'd been more compelling. And but one thing I will say too, also, what it shows you too, also, there's not really a lot of great coaches really in league history.
Because the great coaches just win all the time.
Right, it's the same guys that's win through the years.
And the great players want to play for them, or the coaches already got them.
The only guy that's missing here really is Rick Carlisle. That's it on this list.
I don't think he's a top 15 coach.
And the thing, I don't. People may not be either. Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are crazy.
Anyway.
Oh,
Zack,
please, Kris. In about 3 more years, you'll be arguing that Nick Nurse is better. So what are you talking about?
Yeah. He won't be doing that.
Hey, Nick Nurse.
See, I mean,
Nick Nurse is a stud.
He is a stud, but sample size too small right now.
Way too small.
Anyway, next pod we do us three. We're gonna do our NBA at 75 draft. We're gonna have 50-man roster each of us, and go through the entire roster and pick 15 guys in that roster.
I have to go sleep.
Ready to go to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Say bye to Kris and Zack.
Hey, don't let your dad ever make you a Mets fan, okay?
Too late.
LBJ number 1 overall if I get the pick.
Say good night.
Who you taking?
LeBron James number 1 overall.
Jesus.
Good night.
You can't.